सरकार तो उनकी है लेकिन सिस्टम तो हमारा है.
What happened in the case of Monu Manesar? You know Didi Koshambi? It is more about the ecosystem.
Elections are done and dusted. Narendra Modi is Prime Minister for a record third term. But it seems the reasons why the BJP under Modi could not cross 272 on its own are still far from being settled. So what we are now going to do on squirrels.in every week is to turn the spotlight firmly on a question which somehow or the other is related to what happened in elections 2024. We'll have different people looking at one subject from two completely different, completely contradictory political viewpoints. Our first subject today, there has been so much of meltdown in social media. If you look at the right-wing handles, you look at pro-BJP handles, pro-government handles, and you look at those handles which are opposed to the government, it's almost as if there's a constant boxing match which is going on between these two sides. So I have a simple question tonight, folks. Is it ever possible for the right to completely vanquish the left? Can the right really ever exist without state patronage? On the first episode, I got two colleagues of mine, two well-known, well-settled journalists with two very clearly defined political positions. Sudeep Mukhia is taking on Surajit Dasgupta on that question. Can the right survive without state patronage?
So today what we're going to talk about is a very simple topic. Is the time of the right over in this country, given the election result that came just 1 month ago? I'm going to take a position on this, and so is Surajit. So I would ask Surajit first to put his point of view across, and then I will respond to that.
So I
mean, you are known as you position yourself as a right winger. I have to position myself as a left winger, even though I'm not.
Yeah, in fact, when such a debate happens in India, there will always be reservations about the definitions of left and right, because what is true for Europe or the US may not always be true for India.
That's right.
But then I think if we focus on the ideas of left and right, rather than saying that this party is left and this party is right, we will be closer to the debate, what the debate demands. For example, left necessarily does not mean CPM, right necessarily does not mean BJP.
Correct.
For example.
Correct.
So, take for example, what is your position on homosexuality?
Right.
What is your position on women's rights? So that will also determine whether you are left or right. Then what is your position on the Hindu-Muslim question? Even that is left and right. So let's keep it that way. As far as the ecosystem is concerned, and the recent result, if you collate the two,
that's right.
I would say that the right ecosystem never even started in the first place. And there are very, that famous dialogue in the film Kashmir Files, where this woman says, this professor says, that sarkar to unki hai lekin system to hamara hai. And look at some real life examples that happened. A kabadi wala in West Delhi gets arrested for rioting. Immediately, a whole battery of very expensive lawyers who are known to be leftist or left of center are pressed into service. They appeal for his bail. Nothing similar happens when a Hindu is arrested, for example.
I wouldn't agree with that. No. I don't think that's true. And to actually you put it sharply in focus.
Yes.
Thanks for doing that. It is more about the ecosystem.
Yes.
So I don't think it's correct to say that if there are situations today. I will give you an example of a BJP ideologue.
Mm-hmm.
The court in Punjab ordered that he be arrested. A court has ordered. This is not a government. This is not a police force. Mm-hmm. A court has ordered that an ideologue of the BJP be arrested from Delhi and brought to Punjab for whatever he did.
Tajinder Pal Singh Bagga.
Bagga.
Right.
Now the court has ordered. He was arrested.
Right.
First of all, a whole drama was created, around it.
Right.
How was the Delhi police? How was the Punjab police come, so on and so forth. After which the police forces of two states, Delhi and Haryana, stopped another state's police force from taking him
On
away.
the way. That's right. That's
So
right.
you know, it's not
But
as
this
if,
is why I say that left and right are necessarily not CPM and BJP.
No, they're not.
Because Tajinder Bagga belonged to the BJP, but this Muslim guy who was arrested did not belong to any party. Yet Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Prashant Bhushan, went to the court to
Right.
free this guy.
Right.
Brinda Karat came on TV
Right.
speaking in favor of this guy.
Right.
You cannot imagine a Mukul Rohatgi or a Mahesh Jethmalani, rushing to the court to save a Hindu guy who is not a member of the BJP.
No, so there are lots of cases where, for instance, in the case of Monu Manesar, what happened in the case of Monu Manesar? The entire ecosystem, including government, police, lawyers, everybody was trying to defend Monu Manesar. Monu Manesar himself put his foot in his mouth by saying whatever the hell he did.
Yes,
So they couldn't, nobody could have defended him. But my point is, if I as a person think that somebody's been wrongly arrested and I want to defend them, right? What is wrong with that?
Okay, let me give you yet another example.
But you picked up an example of some, I don't know who this person is.
I picked up an example from a bar. Let me now keep an example from the bench.
Okay.
For example, Supreme Court said that a certain quality of water should be used for the Abhishek of Mahakaleshwar Mandir in Ujjain.
Right.
Alright?
Right.
Would the Supreme Court ever dare tell a Muslim how to read namaz?
No, why should they? First of all, I don't even know why Supreme Court is entertaining. Who has gone to Supreme Court to say that X, Y, Z water should be
So
used?
this is how left is still ruling.
No, but you see,
the right isn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is why am I saying. Why am I saying the right? The right. This is my theory. Okay.
Right.
My theory is very simple. Across the world, except maybe in the United States, where it's a capitalist system. It's an avowed capitalist country. Where even healthcare is seen to be socialist. Except that one country, I don't think in any other country the right can survive without state support.
So can't the left.
No, boss, the left has always survived without state support. I'll give you an example. The left, in the Congress regime, the strongest opposition to the Congress came from the left. Right?
Okay.
This whole business of, opposition, that emergency was opposed by the BJP and its leaders is a myth that has been created in the last 10 years. Massive opposition came from
Lohiites, from
whatever.
Yeah, communists. Janta Party was a hodgepodge.
Right. So it was across the board, right? Now they were all left. In that sense, they were all left, right? Now the left has both opposed the state and also taken advantage of the state.
Yes.
The right has not been able to oppose the state, which is why the state when the next party comes to power, they are never scared of the right. You know why? Because they cannot. The right cannot survive without state support. That is my theory.
That is a kind of. I'll give some other kind of examples to show how this does not quite work like that. If we forget for a while the definition given by the French Revolution of left and right, who sits on the left wing of the French Parliament are leftists, those on the right are rightists. Forget for a while these two definitions. The history of left is far, far older than that of the right. So, for example, in the 12th century of Europe, literature started being written on what is socialism. So that is as far back as leftism goes. Whereas right wing is what? Right wing is common people. We, the common people, we are not historians, we are not trained journalists, we are trained in nothing. We are just commoners.
How are you not trained in nothing? You're trained in your craft, no?
No, I'll tell you what. Historically, people have been in two kind of professions. Either menial jobs, hard labor, or intellectual jobs, right? Now, intellectual jobs will always dominate the governance thing because it is their job, statecraft, managing the judiciary, legislature, everything. And this is why you also see that from most universities, the humanities stream produce more leftists, whereas the science streams, engineers, microbiologists, geneticists, etc., they are seen more towards the right.
I'll make one contradiction to that.
Yeah.
You know D.D. Koshambi? D.D. Koshambi was one of the greatest historians that India has produced. He was a mathematician whose passion for history made him a historian, right? So it's not. I don't think there's a general rule. But I agree. In larger parts, yes, Because of and that's frankly a flaw in our system. The fact of the matter is, science students are not exposed to humanity at all. At all. Today there is a demand.
I'll not accept that.
No, I'm telling you this because STEM today, what is it? STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Today it is now beginning to transform itself into STEAM. People want to do STEAM, not STEM. Science, technology.
This is why we see so much of mess in IITs these days.
No, what is the mess in IIT?
IIT was not known to be hub of activism. Now it has turned into. With the introduction of art subjects.
No, boss, we are going somewhere else. And arts have been in IIT for a long time.
For a long time.
So then what is the problem?
But maybe
some of the finest literature professors in this country have been in
I'll tell you two very famous names to show that the person who is in the science stream can easily switch to the arts, but it does not work the other way.
No, it doesn't work the other way. It doesn't work.
A historian perhaps cannot give us a theory of relativity.
No, he can't.
But Albert Einstein could play the piano very well.
No, that's separate. Because there are lots of historians who are very good with hands-on science. I can give you examples of my own, but that's not playing a piano and being a scientist are not the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, he was a doctor by profession. His clinic was not running well. He was, by
exceptional talent. Yes, exceptional talent.
He created a wonderful character of Sherlock Holmes.
There are people today also. There are doctors who do
an
this.
exponent in, let's say, history or sociology, philosophy or something. If that person tries his hand in physics or chemistry or mathematics, will he or she succeed?
Maybe they'll succeed, maybe they don't. If they study it, they will. If they study it, they will. Maybe they will.
No, but they can't because distinction.
I agree.
The distinction begins after class 12.
Today, if somebody is teaching history, you tell them to start teaching biotechnology. Obviously, they won't be able to. No?
Right.
Because they've trained them.
Let's go further back and figure out where the problem is. In
India, let's bring it back.
We are back.
Let's focus on the.
We are still on left and right, and why the science versus arts is coming.
Is the time of the right wing over in this country?
No.
In fact, not just in this country. I would say across the world.
I would say both left and right need state support because I'll give an example from US. When the governance moved hands from Bill Clinton to George Bush Jr. George Bush Jr.'s wife is a very devout Christian. She is against abortion and she stopped stem cell research because in US research depends heavily on state funding. So she asked her husband to stop the funding of stem cell research because what stem cell essentially did, or the particular kind of research they were doing, was killing an embryo.
Right.
And killing an embryo is
not exactly
wrong according
embryo,
to...
but
yes,
understanding.
Broadly speaking. So to extract the stem cell, they would have to...
Because stem cells are not killing the embryo, stem cells are... When my son was born 14, 15 years ago, I was also approached. Because at that time, you can extract stem cells from the mother's body.
Right. So when it resumed, when Barack Obama came to power, that also showed that this left wing, for example, going ahead with something that Christianity says is a sin. So that again needed state support. So left also relies on state support.
How does it require
the funding resumed. Funding for that research resumed when Democrats came.
In US, research is not funded by the state. In US, it is research. Bulk might be meaning bulk meaning. The smaller bulk is, the bigger bulk is privately funded. So I don't think the right wing, it's not that, the Roe v. Wade, right? Roe v. Wade was what? Roe v. Wade was about abortion, right? Yeah. Abortion came in the middle of Biden's, making abortions illegal came in the middle of Biden's term. It did not come in the middle of Trump's term. It was the making of the Supreme Court bench. Yes, you can say, Trump had set it up.
Right.
But my point is not that. My point is this. In India today, and if you see what happened in Brazil when Lula came back after that Bolsonaro, what just recently happened in England, what happened in India also, to some extent. I'm not saying it's a huge extent because we are not really a rightist country like that. What happened? The fact of the matter is that right wing today is, especially in India, is feeling the squeeze. It is feeling the squeeze because it is seeing the possibility of the state withering away and with it the support of the state. 10 years ago, most of the people on social media that you see are active today and got huge numbers did not exist. Why did they not exist?
Did
Because there was
Modi
nobody
ask
to
them?
support them.
Did Modi ask them to come into existence?
Boss, it was part of the ecosystem.
No, it
Modi
wasn't.
might not, but no.
See,
It's not that Modi called up
one
people
of-
and said.
no,
Why
one
should
of-
Modi call up people and said? He's got people to do it. No.
One of the refrains or constant lamentation in the so-called right wing in India is that they get no state support whatsoever.
No, boss, that's not
So-
correct.
so-
Yesterday, I'll tell you. I'll bring you a live example.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I met somebody who has been part of the IT cell, so-called IT cell of BJP, and the amplification cell of BJP, and openly. He's a he's a young fellow, very talented. I've been in touch with him for the last 3-4 years. He's very political.
Right.
His political ideology and my political ideology don't mix. But he's a very good contact and a friend. He's much younger than us, but he's a good guy. Fact of the matter is, he came and sat across the table yesterday and told me, because I said, "Kaise chal raha hai dhanda?" You know, because it's basically business only.
Right.
"Kaise chal raha hai dhanda?" You know what he says? "Sir, hum log to pit gaye." I said, "Iska kya matlab? What does it mean, hum log pit gaye?" He said, "Now the country has turned against us." I said, "Who is us?" He's saying this thrust of ideology that was happening, especially in social media, people have turned against us. So the other side has started winning. Now, what does that show you? That shows you that there is a push against what was happening on social media. A lot of that, whether you admit or not, whether you like it or not, a lot of that was happening because a party and state support. Like the CPM would do it, the BJP would do it.
I would say that's a lot of speculation because.
How is it speculation?
I'll tell you.
IT cell is an acknowledged.
That is why right in the beginning of this debate we said that BJP is not right and CPM is not left.
In this today's context, I'm saying. No, CPM does not exist. Forget CPM. Today, who is the left today? The left is the Congress ecosystem.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Actually, the BJP is far more left than the Congress.
Yeah, of course,
economy goes.
even in the activism space, you see ISA, for example, which is CPI-ML, it is not CPM.
Yeah. I mean, I was part of ISA at some point.
So
therefore, for a few months, just to see.
Okay. Now what happens is, I remember way back during Vajpayee's rule, there was a cover story in India Today showing Pramod Mahajan and Arun Jaitley, and the so-called IT cell that we are talking about, that was the inception of the so-called IT cell. Because that is where the article on them said that BJP has realized the importance of the new media and therefore they are investing heavily into it. But that thing remained very focused on BJP, the organization, rather than the Hindu community by and large.
Yeah.
Which is why there is another thing you would have noticed in the past 10 years of Modi rule. As and when any foreign power criticized or attacked Modi, immediately BJP's IT cell was pressed into service.
Right.
All the ministries were pressed into service to defend Modi.
Right.
For example, the BBC case, when it revived the 2002 debate, right? When the same kind of aspirations are cast on the Hindu community, there is no defense from the government that Hindus should not be attacked like this.
No. I don't think that.
Modi cannot be attacked, but Hindus can be.
Boss, people are coming out.
Let me give another example.
Leaders are speaking.
Let me give another example. There have been also a lot of allegations of mob lynching, for example.
Not allegations, they have actually happened.
But did not happen only with Hindus beating Muslims. There have been other incidents also where Muslims have beaten up Hindus, right? Now the point is, the only time Modi issued a statement against it was against Gaurakshaks in Gujarat. Right. So how is he pro-Hindu?
No, I'm not saying.
How is he pro-right wing?
Pro-Hindu? No, 1 second. We are getting confused. It is not pro-Hindu.
Yeah.
I'm saying no, it's not pro-Hindu. Because I am a Hindu. I was born a Hindu.
Why was Kajal Hindustani arrested?
There's a difference between your Hindu and my Hindu. You are a practicing Hindu.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You were born a Hindu, I was born a Hindu.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
My father and mother both are Hindus.
Yeah.
You are a practicing Hindu, I am a non-practicing Hindu.
Right.
Because I have my different reasons for, I don't believe in God and so on and so forth. So, okay. Point is not Hindu here. I'm saying the Hindu thing into this right wing. This right wing has tried to appropriate this Hindu thing and done it very successfully. For 10 years, very successfully. I have to tell you,
Without any state support.
They were with
Without
great
any
no,
state-
with great state support.
No.
It was state was completely. I mean, Modi was the Hindu Samrat boss. Hindu is Samrat.
That is a media creation.
Not a media
That
creation.
is a media. See,
It is not a media
What
creation.
happened
How
because
is it
of
a media
2002? What happened because of 2002 is that the enemies and adversaries of Modi branded him as Hindu Hriday Samrat.
No.
And the Hindus love to think of him that way.
Correct. My point is that it was an image that was
And,
created. No?
and both the sides, work to the advantage of Modi.
But both
Because it thrives in this
again.
kind
I'm
of
not getting into
capitalistic-
Modi again. I'm not getting into Modi Hindu.
Right.
All I'm saying is Hindu and Modi, Hindu and right wing are two different things.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Right. The maximum number of lefties today in this country and lefties are Hindus.
Right.
Right. It's not that Muslims are lefties and
most of Maoist
not-
ideologues are Hindus.
all Hindu. The biggest
Yeah.
one, Kanu Sanyal from your state.
Yeah.
Who was he? He was a Hindu, no? Ultimately,
Yeah.
he was born a Hindu.
But then
was he practicing Hindu?
there,
Separate issue.
there is a large section of Hindus that think somewhat like the Christians of Europe, for example. They don't take God seriously.
They don't. I don't.
Yeah.
You do.
So it's
He does. So
You know,
a lot of
so-
our people watching this do.
Yeah, and so there is also a problem with right wing because एक किस्म की गाली है वेस्ट में right wing किसी को कहना.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But I'm
Because it
saying
is-
because of what they do.
Right wing means reactionary, right wing means xenophobic.
Correct.
Right wing means everything about tradition is good and everything modern is bad. But
Yes, largely,
you
yes.
wouldn't find that in any given individual. ये पूरी तरह right है, ये पूरी तरह left है.
Obviously, वो तो नहीं होता ना.
Right,
But your
right.
what they call in Hindustani fitrat. What is your thinking? Is my thinking that it is okay? I know I have friends boss, who are educated, highly educated, not educated, highly educated, highly successful.
Let
who
me-
say that it is okay if this government looks away when there is environment destruction or there is mob lynching or whatever happens. It's okay that they look away as long as there is economic development. Now, what would you call them? Right wing, centrist?
I would call them insensitive.
No, but why? They are very, very happy with the economic development of this country. They are very happy with Modi. I have friends who say that I am a complete Modi bhakt.
You ask an average Muslim, for example, are you happy with economic development, or no matter how much economic development Modi brings in, you will vote against him.
Right.
What is his answer going to be?
His answer going to be I will vote against him, as was demonstrated in this election.
Yes.
In the previous election,
So-
but again,
so-
since you brought it up, in 2019, it was not the case. In 2019, Muslims actually went and voted for.
No, that
Yes.
No, data does not support
It
that.
does. It does. I'll pull out the data.
What happens when
Women voted for Modi.
what happens when BJP does not sound like Kattar Hindu is that Muslims do not team up or gang up against a BJP candidate in a given constituency. Otherwise, by and large, they do not like Sangh Parivar, they do not like any product of Sangh Parivar, like the BJP or VHP or
Neither do Hindus. Lots of Hindus
No,
don't like it.
no.
Huge numbers of Hindus don't vote for the BJP because they don't like what the Sangh Parivar does. To say that Muslims don't like
maybe
is incorrect.
No. Muslims think like Muslims. Hindus don't think like
They do
Hindus.
his things like Hindus.
No.
Of course they do. There is, Hindu is not one Hindu. No, it's not that, I am a Vaishnavite, so everybody is a Vaishnavite. Or I am a Brahmin, so everybody is a
This is
Brahmin.
why I brought in the analogy with Christians of Europe. Look at what is happening to Europe. It is turning into another Syria.
No, let them do that. Europe will take care of itself. Don't worry about Europe. I am not worried about
So
Europe.
when a Hindu does not think like Hindu, so it's like when you say that we are 80% of the population, 80% is actually an illusion. Because 80%,
why is it an
because
illusion?
80% is not consciousness of its Hinduness.
No, but how can there be a consciousness of Hinduness? This is not.
Then they are not Hindu.
No, but
Then
why
they are not a bloc.
But why?
They are not a bloc.
They are not a voting bloc. But they are still Hindus, no?
They are
Why
not
should
even a
voting-
social bloc.
No, boss. Why
They are-
should
they are not even a social
But
bloc.
why should a religion just be defined by one? Then you're talking about Islam, and then you're talking about Christianity. Those are younger religions. They are proselytizing religions. Hinduism is neither. Neither is it young nor is it proselytizing. Right?
Right.
Buddhism is a proselytizing religion.
Has it worked to its advantage?
No. What advantage are you looking for?
We were once from Afghanistan to Cambodia, now we are shrunk to this
Boss,
much of
that then
space.
England will also say, no, I was conquering half the world.
No.
But I'm
that
not.
was, that was imperialism. That was imperialism.
Irrespective. They can also say that I will also become an imperialist. Christians have stopped me from becoming imperialist.
But
that is not true. My point is very simply this. I will go back to my theory. The right wing, especially in India, because the right wing, in many ways, especially on social media, is completely a business. It is not an ideologically driven thing.
Okay.
Large parts of it is just to make money. Okay.
So is the left wing.
No, one second. So my point is that system is going to slowly evaporate in front of our eyes, whereas we were under the impression that it's going to continue for another 30-40 years.
I wouldn't say so. Also for the fact, for the last 3 years of the UPA rule, which was when exactly this Hindu consciousness began, and especially the kind of vicious attacks on Sonia Gandhi, on Manmohan Singh, that came from the Hindu right wing, including those who supported the Anna Andolan. A large part of it was from the RSS. So the Hindu right never quite waited for Modi to give them state support so that they could come into full force. They have already always existed, and it is often said about the BJP also that BJP turns more towards the right when it is in opposition than when it is governing. So it is, if hypothetically speaking, tomorrow BJP loses power, it is going to turn more Kattar Hindu, and that will give an added fillip to the right wing.
So how did you like the episode? Tell us what you thought about it. You can reach out to me on my Twitter handle or on Squirrels in Twitter handle. We will have more people coming in regularly and taking two completely contrasting political positions for you. If you have been, thanks so much for watching.